They didn't even bother with my last name. "Sit down, Elise," the chairman said, his hand hovering over the chair that used to be mine. "You've done enough. Ava will handle it now." Ava, the CEO's daughter, 25. Privilege dripping off her like perfume that was too sweet for a table worth $1.9 billion. She slid into my seat as if it had always belonged to her. 2 decades of sacrifice, erased with a single sentence. I tightened my grip on the binder beneath the table. My hand didn't shake. My mouth stayed shut. Silence was my weapon, and they mistook it for compliance. What they didn't know was that every signature in that binder, every clause and subclause, was a bullet already loaded. I remembered the first time I shook Martin Hale's hand. He told me, "Loyalty is rare in business. Prove it, and it will pay." I believed him. I worked through Christmases, through illness, through grief. My father died while I was in Tokyo, signing a deal for Martin. I missed his last breath so Martin could claim another win. I gave him 20 years. My loyalty, my backbone, my life. And in return, I was replaced by his daughter, whose greatest achievement was posting a champagne selfie. The betrayal didn't blindside me. It had been unfolding for months. Meetings rescheduled, without me. My name disappearing from memos. Clients forwarding emails I was never copied on. And then the whispers. Legacy, succession, family first. The worst was watching Ava present my strategy deck. Stammering through points she didn't understand, sneaking glances at me in the back row while Martin nodded like she was some prodigy. That was when I knew my future wasn't in their hands. I didn't rage. I didn't beg. I studied. Contracts, loopholes, exit clauses. I traced every deal to its core, every partnership to its weak spot. And then I found it, the hinge. A clause I'd slipped in 3 years earlier during a restructuring deal. Overlooked, ignored, but ironclad. It required 12 international CEOs to negotiate as a collective, valid only if I, Elise Morgan, witnessed and authenticated the terms. Without me, the deal collapsed. They wanted Ava in my chair? Fine. Let them try explaining why 12 CEOs would walk out in perfect unison. The morning of the negotiation, I arrived before sunrise. Suit pressed, hair neat, binder tucked under my arm. A soldier reporting to war. Martin smiled like nothing was wrong. Ava perched beside him, lips rehearsing confidence. "Elise, you can observe from the side," he said smoothly. "This is Ava's moment." So I sat in the corner, binder closed, silent, watching the clock. 9:42. The room leaned forward. Papers shuffled. Ava cleared her throat, fumbling through jargon she couldn't pronounce. Martin whispered encouragement. 9:45. My pulse steady. They hadn't seen the clause. They never do. 9:47. Choreography. 12 chairs scraped back in unison. 12 executives stood. 12 briefcases snapped shut. One of them, a German steel magnate, turned to Martin. "Without Elise, this negotiation is void. Our contracts were explicit." Martin's face drained of color. Ava blinked, lost, like a child whose lines had vanished mid-play. The silence after they left was exquisite. Martin rounded on me, his voice strangled. "What the hell did you do?" I stood, finally opening my binder. The claws glowed in yellow highlight, waiting like a detonator. "You should read what you sign, Martin," I said softly. "Especially when you build your empire on someone else's back." Ava tried to speak, but her voice cracked. She looked at me the way people look at knives. The fallout came fast. By afternoon the headlines were everywhere. Hale International loses $1.9 billion deal. Succession fumble. Heiress fails to deliver. Stock value bled out. Partners withdrew. Lawsuits circled like vultures. Meanwhile, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Those 12 CEOs wanted new negotiations, but this time on my terms. Hail didn't matter. Results did. I resigned before Martin could fire me. The letter was already written. I slid it across his desk like someone calmly walking away from a house they'd set aflame. He clenched his jaw, powerless. Ava wouldn't meet my eyes. And I didn't leave empty-handed. Buried in my contract was a deferred payout tied to years of service. 20 years. The sum was obscene. Enough to launch my own firm. Enough to make Hale irrelevant. Within weeks, I had my own office. 12 boardrooms. Wide open. Waiting. Do I regret it? No. They mistook silence for surrender. They mistook loyalty for weakness. But I was never weak. I was patient. And patience is the sharpest weapon of all. Even now, when I close my eyes, I still hear it. 12 chairs scraping back at 9:47 a.m. That sound was freedom. That sound was justice. That sound was 20 years finally paid in full.